Many thanks for joining us again. Charles Frakuha, iBrand analyst, joins me live from Delta State, and also Sumbo Fadejoko, public affairs analyst, also joins me live via phone as we do some analysis of some of the top business stories we're tracking at this time. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Blessed.
I believe you've seen the stories, big stories we're tracking at this time. But first and foremost, permit me to start off with this story that is coming from a report from the Standard Organization of Nigeria. This is really worrisome. 80% of Nigerian SME shut down after 5 years of operation. What is responsible for all of this, and what is the way out? If we keep having SMEs shutting down, what would be the economic implication for our country, whose economic situation is in dire straits? Let me start with you, Charles Frakuha.
Yes, thank you very much, Blessed. You will notice that for any economy to really fight unemployment, youth restiveness, the only way is to encourage SMEs to strive. And over time, people like us have come to realize that these SMEs that are coming up, the issue is after 5 years, most of them fold up. One, the problem might not also be from the environment, but we have seen harsh economic environment, poor access to finance, power, multiplicity of taxation, and all that. But one key factor that we need to recognize is the SMEs owners themselves are also a problem to giving us these statistics. And like I tell you, this 80% is on a normal situation. Then looking at Nigeria's situation currently now, let me even speak of Delta State. Currently, it is even more than that 80%. Because after all this harsh economic environment, you also have the attitude of the SME owners. You see people who go for government empowerment, they are not passionate, they are not interested. Somebody goes for catering, the person has no flair for cooking, the person has no interest, no passion. They're just going there to get all the what they will give them at the end of the day. And right there, some of them even sell their startup parts. So you can now see that for you to run a striving SME, the passion, attitude towards the business must be there. And that is what myself and my NGO, we are trying to create, to inculcate that mindset to the youth. You must love what you are doing. The essence is not to pursue money first. Love what you are doing, then the money will pursue you. So that is one of the critical things I have come to realize as an analyst and somebody who talk about small businesses all the time. The attitude and the passion of these SME owners is key to sustaining their business. You can have all the factors there for you, access to finance, good environmental business environment, but once you don't have that passion for the business, you cannot sustain that your SME.
I also have a personal story I want to share here. I know of a young man who won a business pitch competition and was given 3 million naira and a brand new car. This young man, with that 3 million naira, invested 1 million naira into his business and then used 2 million naira to just sort his life out. Was looking good on the gram and everything seemed good for him. When the business was no longer sustainable, he had to shut down. And this leads to my question, Mr. Fadejoko. Why are we having a decline in the entrepreneurial drive of our young entrepreneurs?
In a way, I quite agree with what my colleague said. Lack of passion, but it would be wrong of us to now just pin it down to that alone. You find a situation where there is little reward for commitment and dedication. You find a situation where the orientation given to the young population is that of living life without doing much. And when you have that kind of orientation, it's going to affect the view that they have in going into business and staying on the business. The young man you just tell the story had problem because he had forgotten that the entire 3 million was supposed to be used for the business and not just 1 million naira. But he looked at his colleagues that have already, arrived, and he wanted to emulate them with the car. Because he already has a car, he needs to sort his life out. But the business is not supposed to take care of you. Now, what do I mean? You find a situation where the government rolling out these stimulus packages are also not encouraging them. For instance, some of them are into services. Some of them are into small-scale manufacturing. We don't find a situation where they encourage consumption of those locally made goods and those local consultancy or services that are rendered. You will find them not engaging them in terms of giving them contracts, government contracts that have to do with the service they are rendering. This is a way to help them grow.
Okay.
Or you will subject it for the masses that is impoverished. You subject them to the inflation condition that you have out there,
okay,
that the purchasing power parity has dropped. That is the environment to subject them into. How do you expect them to now survive? Coupled with the fact that the basic infrastructure that helps SMEs to thrive are not available. So there is no way that they will not struggle. And by the time they struggle, it will get to a stage where they won't be able to cope again. And that is the reason why you are having that collapse.
Okay, we're going to look at these and all the fundamentals concerning these on this Friday edition of Analyst Angles. Do join us at 4:30 as we discuss more on that. But moving on to other stories now, let's quickly look at this. The Debt Management Office is coming out and they're crying out loud, saying that the country's current debt profile is no longer sustainable. That if nothing is being done to cushion or to curb fresh borrowing, the country's public debt will hit 81.64%. Charles, how would you react to this? How does this come to you?
It come to me as a surprise because having doing most of the DMO events, and they have clearly stated that their mandate is clear. Keep a record, accurate record of our Nigerian debt, and that's why all these figures are coming. And they are within their mandate to explain to Nigerians that this is our true situation. I've always given an example. If Nigeria was an individual, then it is already declaring bankruptcy because the credit score is already too low and you are not even qualified for further facilities. So having a debt to GDP rate of over 37%, then it shows that, yes, we have gotten to our limit. And if I am an institution that gives out credit, I will not consider giving Nigeria. However, let us look at it from this angle again. What about our revenue side? What are we doing? We keep talking about debt to finance. Let us see how we can improve the revenue side of the equation. It is very, very key. And the new government in place, for me, that should be their focus now. It is not begin to think like the past government and say, okay, whatever happens, ways and means is there. Whatever happens, we are going to get facilities from multilateral agency at 2.5% for 20 years or 30 years. Very easy to get.
Okay.
We should be looking at the revenue side.
Okay.
It is very, very key.
Okay.
And I always say block all the leakages. That is very, very key for us to survive and see how we can sustain our economic development.
Good. Talking about revenue, I need to just point one or two on that. President Bola Tinubu is known to be very strategic in terms of revenue generation. And now with a ballooning debt in front of us, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Sumba, this question. How best can this administration manage this rising debt that is staring at it in the face? And what can we do concerning the loopholes in revenue generation in the country? Because currently we have debt to GDP at 37.1%. What are the economic implications to this?
To start with, let's correct the impression. It is not at 37 yet. It's expected to be at the end of the year.